Alright, hello all, welcome back to our Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video here. So, it's been quite a while. I've been pretty busy recently, excuse me, so haven't gotten around to doing these, but I do want to start doing them weekly again. That being said, here we have another of the How Tanky Can a Unit Get videos, and we're going to be doing Strength Vegito. Now, I mean... We all know how this unit, right? Just got treated this year. It was not the best. Now that being said, I do think they could look pretty tanky by the end here. I mean we're getting like 4 supers a turn, and once we transform, which I might actually have some difficulties doing, I'll try and have to try and force it out. I mean, we do get a pretty decent, stat buff and such. So I do think that this could be a pretty good character to take a look at. Now, this was actually originally requested way back when I started doing these. I don't know how long ago it was, like a month and a half ago or something. It took a little bit, but here we are. I do want to get this one done. Next, I do want to make sure to get AGL Gohan done. The LR that's temporarily buffed, those are going to be going away. I imagine in the next like 3 weeks or so. So that'll be next week's. In fact, I'll probably even get it recorded pretty soon, just to be on the safe side. But yeah, that being said, that'll be next week. Vegeta's this week. So let's just jump right in. Obviously, we got the whole setup here, and then link next to Tech Gogeta is what we're gonna be doing. Perfect linking partner, except once they fuse, and 6 out of 7, but it's still, they get like 10% defense still even then. But yeah, let's just jump right in. So as per usual here, we're going to show the first 2 turns, and okay, wow. I'm just gonna, I'll abandon, and I'll just jump right back in, and if they're on like slot 7 again or something, I'll just cut away and come back once we're ready to go to them. I don't want to sit here and yap for like 5 minutes waiting to get to the actual, we're trying to get around. Oh, wait, what? Whoa, that's... Hold on. Are they on the 200% for that character? No, they're not. Okay. That would have been good if they were. What is the... Yeah. No, that's unfortunate. They're not on it. So no, I can't use them. Okay. That would have been actually really hype. I didn't think they were, but I had to double check there for a moment. No way. Am I not gonna find a leader now? Oh my god. Alright, we'll be right back. Alright, here we go. Now, I do believe I have Bulma's intro, yeah. Okay, so now they're not perfect like 7 out of 7 with this trio unit. But that being said, I mean, we do still have like 10% defense, I believe it is this turn. Is it Saiyan Warrior Race? No, Saiyan Lineage is the one with defense. Okay, so no, we only actually have 5% defense. Okay, well, I mean that's unfortunate, but I mean we're starting off at 226,000. They definitely take a little bit to build up. They're going to build up as we progress through here. I do think they're going to get pretty decently high. How high by the end? I'm not sure exactly, obviously, but... yeah, I'll just go this. I do want to get Bulma support active. But yeah, I do think this should actually be a pretty good one. Oh, well, that's... I mean, this boss shouldn't do too much damage. That's 232. Oh, okay. Alright. Well... not off to the best of starts here, but we'll get through it. So these guys, if we get the supers, thank you, are able once again to do 4 supers a turn. I mean they're doing 30% stack on every super. So while when you're running them in some like short content, I mean we got 3 supers here for example. When you're running them in some like the shorter content, they can definitely look kind of bad in certain scenarios. I'm not gonna like compared to how like Gogeta's EZA is, it's unfortunate. But I do think that by the end here, their defense is going to be extremely impressive. Now, comparatively, because we've only done 2 so far, to like the Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta we're using as our leader, or to Gohan, which we've already done both those. How they're gonna look, I think they might end up looking a little worse by the end, just because those guys have greatly stacking. But we'll see. I do think their number is still gonna be pretty high. So that being said, obviously we got to get through this turn here. You know, we have all of our support. Right, I mean, we do have our items here. So, I mean, we got the whole setup locked down. I might even do 3 turns at the start here. So, I do want to get a turn with Tech Gogeta next to them. Tech Gogeta does share 15% defense instead of just 5%, which they have with, you know, the Majin Buu, Super Saiyan 3 Goku, Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta. So, I mean, it's 10% defense. And that doesn't sound like a lot, but, I mean, these are all, like, different phase buffs. So, 10% does, you know, add up a little bit. And, I mean, we can see here, what were we at last turn? Like, 226,000. I mean, we're 368,000. I mean, not the most impressive of jumps. Okay. Well, let's see. I think they'll cook by the end here, but we're not off to the best of starts. 100%. This character though, I mean, once we get everything, you know, figured out here, is gonna be pretty goated, I think. I would like something different. Little note here. There are characters, these guys included potentially, that I might like a redo later on. I'm not summoning for Gloria, right? I mean, 10th anniversary is right around the corner. I mean, we're less than a month out at this point from knowing what the characters are. In fact, the characters might even be out within the next 4 weeks. I think they come out between like the 27th and 30th. It's somewhere in that window. I'm pretty confident. I could be wrong on that though. But point being, Glorio support is just so insane for these type of like stacking videos, attack and defense. And I really do want to like take advantage of Glorio support, but at the same time, I'm not about to summon just for, oh no, we're gonna die. Oh wait, okay, wait, no, we did it. That was, yeah, we do gotta build up a little bit. Oh my god, that's crazy. Point being there, might do these guys again at some point. I don't know. Like Tech Gohan, for example, I know gets a humongous buff. Because how it is when a character has a lower sort of phase 1 buff, I mean the support, like Glorio support, most supports are like phase 1. So I mean when you have a character like, you know, these guys, you know, they're already at 200%, it means less, but it's still a significant buff. So when I can take advantage of that going forward, I will, but I don't believe those characters return until, is it April? Like, April's Golden Week, late April. So, I mean, we'll get Glorio then, and take advantage of that then.
Number 1, keep that guy busy to buy me some time. Number 2, are you gonna...
Okay. Yeah, like I said, I do want to actually do one more turn here. Hopefully I don't end up dying. I might actually like Bulma here better, honestly. Alright, well, I might die here. We'll see. But I do want to play out the one more turn now that we're going to have Tech Gogeta next to them. Oh, you know, we have Bulma support here. Active, so they are going to get I mean, pretty sizable buff. Oh no. Okay, we're still alive. Alright. I think we should be good for the rest of this turn then. But, you know, these stacking videos, once I do get him, I do think are going to get, you know, a nice, you know, little extra. I mean, it's 100% for 3 turns. So, I mean, you could just permanently have that up when you're running. Like 2 Glorios, or, you know, even if the character wouldn't be on like Glorios 200%, you could, you know, just run you know, 1 Glorio and have 50% defense and attack like constantly. Like, that support is so crazy. I think people are gonna underrate that. I mean, I've been seeing people underrate it. It's like, oh, it's just 50%. It's like, part of me thinks they're just like joking around, because if you look at that and you think it's not insane, I don't know. But that buff is gonna be so insane for these once I do get Glorio. I do want to do a video for him at some point. Maybe I'll do an attack one for him this week, like with a friend lead. We'll see, but I do want to make sure to get some of these defense ones out that I've, you know, had sort of on the backlog for a while. Okay, so here we go. We're up to 595,000. We're building up kind of slow. We do need to get above the HP threshold is the thing as well. That does impact our stats pretty severely. Unfortunate. But, you know, here we are next to, I mean, we have 15% full links. This character, you know, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, I don't really show the calc for on Super at this point, but I mean, we'd be over, like, because they don't have any phase 2s try to buffs. We'd be over, depending on how many supers we do, like by a million by the end of this turn here. Roughly, I think. But point being, I do think they're going to look crazy by the end. We're building up kind of slow, but I mean, obviously I do like to play these out as long as I can. So I'm going to get to stacking these guys up, try and get as close to like turn 90 as I can. And we'll come back and we'll see just how tanky Strength Vegito can get. Alright, so we are back. We're up to turn 99 here. And we've, I would say, gotten a decent bit of stacks with these guys. So we're up to 9,802,424 on here. But once again with these, has been a little bit. But there's a slight discrepancy. I'm imagining it's just like a rounding error. Like maybe the stack isn't like exactly 0.3 or something like that. There's some sort of decimal rounding stuff somewhere. I guarantee you is what it is. But following the actual math here, just like actually calculating it out of game, it's 9,802,485, which, you know, I'll show on screen here, edited in. So that being said, I mean, once again, it's roughly the same amount. It's just, we're talking like the 10s and 1s placed that are different. That being said, here we are. Now, we are under the HP threshold for these guys, so they don't actually have this extra 50% to stats, which is, you know, all things considered, a pretty decent buff there. But, I mean, it doesn't matter because we're just going to fuse straight away anyway. So, I mean, that being said, I mean, let's just, you know, get things going here, right? We do have Gamo on support here, but obviously, you know, other than Bulma, there's not going to be any other support. Like I was talking about earlier, once I get Glorio, I may end up redoing some of these, you know, and I'll make sure to be like, you know, Glorio buffed, you know, whatever. But obviously I don't have them right now. I'm not summoning. It's dumb to summon right now. 10th anniversary is literally right around the corner. So that being said, let's get these fusion animations in. We might as well.
Give it to me now. This is what I'm supposed to do, right? Yep. Thanks, Vegeta. Since I'm the fusion of Vegeta and Kakarot, I guess that makes me Vegeta. And this is Super Vegito.
Okay, so when we fuse there, I do want to just show this briefly. So we have jumped up to, I mean, quite a bit here. 12,738,938. Now, that, I just want to point out here, we only have prepared for battle. So currently we have lost our other two defensive links, but just hold on a moment. So I do want to show that, you know, through the calcs here. What is our start of turn? We're at, I believe he gets up, so he's 250, and then another 77%. So we're at 327%. Yeah. Okay, so that would be represented by 4.27. And then that would be 1.05. And then that should be 12,738,968 is what it shows on here. But once again, there are decimals here, so it's, you know, it's rounding. It's why like the tens and ones place is a little bit off. But that being said, now what we're gonna do, obviously, is fuse Gogeta here. Okay, now just from fusing, we now have Fused Fighter active, which is an additional 7%, and this just will go to show how important these links are. We went from 12,738,968 to 13,345,543. I mean, we're adding like an extra, I mean, what, like 600,000 some odd defense just from 7% from the links. So, I mean, getting the links like this, it really is important for doing something like this. Now, let me add the 0.7, so 1.12. That should match up. Yeah, wait, hold on. It is 7%, isn't it? Or is it 5? Oh, it's only 5. Okay, my mistake. Oh, that just goes to show even more then. I mean, if it's just an extra 5%, I mean, we're getting 600,000 defense from that. Like, links are so important. The different phase buffs really do so much. Okay, so, I mean, now we got to get into actually using our items here. So, we have Monster Carrot. Now, this is going to turn the full orb field into carrots. We'll get 15% per key sphere, but, I mean, we're able to get all of these. So, what we're looking at here is going to be 345% increase from this. So from the carrots. So let's gather these up. Now, does he? Oh my god, we're up to 59,387,748. Now let me get this in here. There's just so much to do with these buffs. It's crazy. Now, another thing to note, I think the only, I could be wrong, like the only like actual buffing domain for Superclass right now, which is, you know, we're probably going to see one for 10th anniversary, is UI Goku. So if I had access to like a domain, I mean, if we can add like 10% there or something, not that this is UI Goku even on this team. I'm not sure that he is. Point being, I mean, an extra like 10% there, or, you know, whatever. If we get like a new domain, and that could potentially buff him more. Like, all these different phases, once again, I really do want to hammer in, are just so important, so distinct. They all do separate things, right? Okay, so here we go. Now we can pop Android 8, which is another 50%. So this will go up to 4.95 on here. But it's essentially 3.95 or 395 6%, right? How is that? Whatever. You get what I'm saying. It's represented correctly here. So I mean that jumps us up to 60,496. Once again on here, 66,060,651. And I mean that's for items. But we are not done. Now we do also need to use Bulma's active.
Your wish has been granted.
Okay, so just Bulma's active. I'm gonna do this on here first. It's 17%, so 1.17 and 77,290,961. Let's see if that lines up. 77,290,776, roughly. So we still aren't done. What we need to do now is grab the orbs with Bulma, which will activate her 37% support. Because we don't have that active here yet, and obviously that's going to be a pretty decent buff. And here we go. Let me calculate that now. So just to show before we attack here, phase 1 we add that in here, so we'd be at 4.64. Which puts us at 83,988,305. And now we can collect our orbs. So I mean, definitely a pretty big jump. Now he does greatly raise attack and defense on both his SA effects. So we still aren't even done yet. This doesn't matter. So we still need to see. We aren't done quite yet. So here's a 50%. Now we do have so much on the super effect phase. These aren't going to be worth so much. We might even only get just the one here. Yeah, we got just the one. But just getting that alone jumps us up to 84,897,269. And then we killed with counters. Awesome. All right. I mean there we go though. 84,897,269. Now, when you look at, and I'll have to check here real quick. It's been a little bit now. When you go ahead and you look at, say, the Boo Bros, right? Super Saiyan 3 Goku, Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta, or you look at, like Tech Gohan, right? I mean, obviously those guys. With the greatly raised, the difference between greatly and just a normal raise is so important. I mean, Tech Gohan here might potentially just be our best, and I am going to redo him eventually once he's like the #1 unit that comes to mind for redoing for both attack and defense. Once I do get my own Glorio, I mean, running him on a double Glorio setup specifically because he is demonic power, 200%. I mean, it's just going to be absurd. That phase 1 support, I mean, 100% the stats. It really is just crazy, the amount of power you generate there. But, I mean, when you look at the Boo Bros, I mean, we got them up to 98,187,000. And I mean, they greatly raised on one of their SA effects, and they're also doing 4 supers. I mean, there's also several times there where we couldn't get 4 supers with, Goku and Vegeta there because under the HP threshold. But I mean, all things considered, I mean, we're talking what, like 7 million less, right? Roughly. So I mean, hey, we were able to get them stacked up pretty high. I think a lot of people probably wouldn't have thought we'd get them that high by the end there. But They do be cooking. But yeah, there we go. That is Strength Vegito done. Like I said, I do want to. This might even actually come out early Wednesday morning, honestly. I do want to get back to doing these weekly. I've just been pretty busy this holiday season, with IRL stuff. But it should be toning down a bit. So there we go. That is Strength Vegito done. I do want to move on to make sure I get it in the temporarily buffed AGL Super Saiyan Gohan, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. That one will be pretty nice too. But yeah, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Take care.